My screen now. Yes. So I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now you want this files, right? Before you start, I'll give it to you. So yes. So all the documents, all the files are in the chat box. You can pick it out. Okay. So yes. Okay. So today we are going to talk about the second conditional control statements, that is looping statements, right? So let me create a package so that we can
Yes.
get it.
Yesterday we discussed typecasting, if a ternary operator, bitwise sort circuit operator, and if else loop. I think.
Yes. So yesterday we talked about the
Control
pending
statement.
operators, then conditional statements. So how you can convert your if statement, nested if statement to the ternary operator we have seen. We talked about the typecasting, the two types of typecasting, widening and narrowing. And then, yes, we have the assignment, right? So where you have to write two programs, which we call it like a command line, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay, so let me create a file over here.
D7 or D6.
Today is day 6, right?
Okay.
I think D7, like last Friday, I think you didn't join.
D5 or D6 was merged by you. In D5, you discussed about the operator, and yesterday also you discussed about operators and all these conditions.
Uh, Day 1, we had a talk about the classes. We went and discussed about the program structure of Java. Then day 2, we discussed about the Java introduction, the edition, architecture, the
Okay.
distributions, and we talked about variable and data type. And then coming over to the day 3, with the continuation of the data type, the two types of data types has been discussed, variables has been discussed, and then the scope of the variables has been discussed. And then day 4, we talked about the operators, right?
Okay, next.
And then day 5, we talked about the pending operators and then the control statement, the if statement. And then we talked about typecasting, right? And then we have covered a keyword called break.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Now let's move on to the next one. So today we are going to talk about the next statement, so which we can say is like a loops. So basically loops, if you see, we will be covering, we will be going ahead with the loops means like if you want to execute for the multiple times. Okay, if you want to execute for the multiple times, then we will be going ahead for the loops. Okay, so now coming over here in the Java, we have different types of loops as well. Okay, so different types of loops, if you see, loops, let me say, you want to execute for certain, let's say like certain number of times, let's say. So you have in Java, you have do while, then you have while, then you have for. Okay, so you have do while loop, you have while loop and for loop. So what this do while loop will do? Okay, what this do while loop will do? So now coming over here in the do while loop, if you see the statement, okay, whatever you have given, okay, the statement in the body that will execute at least once. Okay, at least once it will execute before it checks the condition. Okay, before it checks the condition. So how it comes? Okay, so for example, it will say like if you wanted to print something, let's say. Okay, let's say like okay, how we can say this. All right, so now let's say like you wanted to you wanted to enter the amount to be deposit. Okay, you can wait the user to enter the deposit, amount to be get deposit. Now you wanted to check the condition. Okay, now let's take this scenario. We have a user, okay, who wants to deposit the amount. Let's take the banking scenario only. Okay, so who wants to check, who is there to deposit the amount. Now coming over here, in order to deposit, we are having some let's say like a minimum balance, let's say. Okay, we have a minimum balance. So we wanted to check whether the amount entered by the user is less than or greater than the minimum balance, that we have to check it out. So for example, if I say, so I'm just going to say double balance equal to 0. Okay, then now when I say, I can go ahead and say I can minimum balance, I can say like 500. So now when you have a same data type with the multiple variables, okay, when you have a same data type with the multiple variables, what you can do is you can say comma and you can add it over here. This kind of declaration is also allowed in Java, giving it in a one line itself, instead of going ahead and say double balance, double minimum balance, double deposit amount, double final amount. Instead of saying like that, you can directly in one time, if you declare the data type, and directly you can give the variables by separating with the comma. So this kind of declaration is also allowed. Okay, now the next thing, yes, we want to get the input from the user. So I'm just using the scanner. Okay, I'm just using the scanner class, and this class comes from the util package. Scanner equal to new scanner system.in. So waiting for the input from the user. Then, okay, so we have to say do. After that do, you will be having your while condition. So this is how the syntax comes. So do, and you will be having a set of statements. Do set of statements. So this is what your syntax is. Syntax is this. So first what it will do, it will execute a set of statements and then it will go ahead and check the condition. So now coming over here in our scenario, let's say like we are going to ask, okay, we are going to ask the user, let's say, enter the amount to be deposited. Okay, enter the amount to be deposited. Now, once the user wants to enter, so we have to wait. Okay, so let's say like deposit amount, let's say equal to scanner dot next int. Now coming over here, coming over here, let's say next int. So which means first it will ask the amount from the user. Now we have to check whether the condition is, we have to check whether the deposit amount is less than minimum balance. Now what happened over here? So you are providing the condition after some statements are executed. Now what will happen over here? So when you execute it, so it will be asking you like enter the amount to be deposited. Now if I say, okay, if I say 200, can you see it is again asking me to deposit. So I'm saying 100, 50, like 150, 300. But at the same time, if I say 600, can you see the loop gets stopped?
Can you put 600? Yeah.
Yeah, I have given, right? It gets stopped. So my condition is I have a minimum balance 500. So I have to accept the value which is less than 500. If it is greater than 500, okay, it will stop. Now what will happen if I say 500? What will happen if I say 500?
It will execute.
It will execute.
Yeah. It will,
Sure.
I mean, it will not go in the loop. It will stop.
Exactly. It will stop because we have said minimum balance that is less than. In the scenario, if we say less than or equal to, then it will work, right? Because we are providing the equal to value. So when you say 500, it will be accepted, right? So if you say 501, it won't be accepted. Okay, is this
Yeah.
is clear? So this
Yeah.
is with your do while loop. So do while loop means the statement in your loop body will execute once before the condition is tested. Okay, before the condition is tested, and the body will be keep on executing until this condition gets failed. Okay, until this condition gets failed. Now let's go ahead with the next one. Okay, next thing what we have is while loop. Okay, next we have the while loop. So now what will happen in the while loop? So in the do while, if you see, first a set of statements are executed at least once. But in the while loop, it is not like that. Okay, in the while loop, it is not like that. It will check the condition first, and then only it will go ahead and execute the body. Okay, so which means
Hmm.
like the condition will be tested before the before the uh, before the loop executes. Okay, all right. So now how the syntax will be, will say while, and you will be having your condition, and yes. So here you will be having your set of statements. Now how you can write a code for it? Okay, how you can write a code? Now coming over here. So now let's say over here. Okay, now let's say like, let's check the next scenario. Okay, so we have to say check for the age. If the age is, okay, check for the age. If the age is above 18, okay, allow to cast a vote. Just you have to check it out. Okay, now how you can say, let's say like int age equal to, let's say scanner dot next int. Okay, you can also go ahead and you can say enter your age. Now you can say why age. Okay, the condition that you have to say age is greater than or equal to 18. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, then only it will come over here. So we are just going to say you are eligible to cast a vote. Okay, now if you go ahead and run this, so first enter the amount to be deposited, that is for the do while loop. So I will say 600 to stop the break, to break the loop. Then enter your age. Now if I say 18, what is happening over here? What is happening over here? You are eligible to cast a vote, you are eligible to cast a vote, you are eligible to cast a vote. It is going on indefinite time, right? It's going on indefinite time. So what you wanted to do? Now what you wanted to do? So when you go with the while loop, you have to take care of one important thing, that is the breaking condition. The breaking condition. So what happens over here for the infinite loop, if you see, coming over here, when you say age, so if you enter the age as 18, okay, when you enter the age as 18, it is coming over here. So it is eligible to cast a vote. Again, it will go to the while loop. It will take the age value. So it again 18 is assigned, right? So it is keep on checking this condition again and
We need
again.
to break. Yeah, we need to break so that it will
Yes.
print one time.
So how we can modify this while loop? Okay, how you can have this, how we can modify this while loop. So what you can do is you can have a flag kind of a variable, like a Boolean value, you can say. So you can say like a Boolean, okay, let's say flag, and you can assign it as a true by default. Okay, and then coming over here, instead of providing the condition over here, you can say flag. Okay, you can say flag. And now here you can put this inside your while loop. And now here you can provide a condition. If age is greater than or equal to 18, then go ahead and print it. Then go ahead and print it. If not, that is what your else part. Else, make sure the flag is equal to false. So when you say the flag is false, this value, the condition becomes false, right? So basically the condition what you enter over here, that should be true. So what we are doing, we are providing a variable and we are assigning the value as true. Okay, so what will happen, though it is true, it will come inside, it will ask enter your age, you are going to enter, and it will go to check, it will check the condition, it will check the condition. If it is greater than 18, it will say you are cast to vote. Then again it will go ahead. Okay, again it will go ahead and again it will keep on repeating. Now what happens if we say age is 70? It will come to the else part, right? It will come to the else part and your flag will be false. So this true will be replaced with a false. Now your condition is false, so your loop execution will be stopped. Okay, now let's see over here. Let's say 18. You are eligible to cast a vote. So now you're not getting the infinite time. You're eligible to cast a vote. You're not getting the infinite time, right? So I'm saying 56. Okay, 24. Now what happens if I say 17? Done. Okay, if you want, you can do this
Print.
also. Yeah, you can say like done with the while loop execution. Similarly, you can put this closing statement for your do while also. So you can differentiate your output. So this amount deposit is for your do while, and you can enter the age. You can see now. Okay, I have given dot. Okay, let me. You can see done with the while loop execution.
Let's suppose if we want to print message that you are not eligible to cast a vote, then where we will set that message?
That you can put it in the else part. That you can put it in the else part along with the else. Along with the message, you can say this one. Okay. Now, if you go ahead and execute, so I'm saying 70. You're not eligible to cast a vote. That's it. Okay.
Oh, oh,
Now,
yeah.
so this is one kind of a loop. Okay. Another,
1 second. We are setting Boolean flag true because by default it's false. That's why we are intentionally setting it to true. Correct? If I'm not
exactly.
wrong.
Yes, yes. Okay. The default value for Boolean is false, right? So we are assigning it as true over here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The next loop which we have is for loop. Okay. So now you have three kinds of loops over here. In what kind of a situations in which loop you can use? Suppose if you want to execute one statement before you check the condition, you can go ahead with a do while. And you don't know the number of times to be repeated, but until the condition is false, you have to keep on executing. So in that case, you can go ahead with the while. Now coming over here to the for loop, and this is for loop is completely different from the other types of looping. Okay, other types of loops, for loop is entirely different. Okay, entirely different. So now coming over here in this for loop, okay, so it will keep on executing until the condition is true. But the benefit which we have over here is you have the pre-initialization of a variable and then the condition to be checked and the increment or decrement of the value. So how you can say over here is, for example, for loop is like, you know the certain number of, let's say like you want to execute 5 times, you want to execute 10 times. So which means like you know the number of iterations, right? So if you know the number of iterations to be done, then you can go ahead with the for loop. Okay, if you know the number of iterations, then you can go ahead with the for loop. Now how the syntax will be, so you'll be having a for, then you'll be having an initialization. Okay, then you will be having a condition, then you will be having the increment or decrement, and here you will be having your set of statements. That's it. Now let's say like I want to print, let's consider the scenario over here. Okay, let's say I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. I should not go ahead and say like system dot output 1. And again, say I should not say like system dot printer 2. So like this, I should not go ahead with the 10. Sometimes I can say 1. I mean, sometimes I can say 10. Sometimes I can say 10,000 also. So in that case, what we can do? Okay, so now we got to know the number of iterations, right? We got to know the number of iterations. So you can go ahead with the for loop. And at the same time, you can also perform this with a while loop also. Okay, so you can also perform the same with the while loop. Okay, so how you can do that? Okay, how you can do that? Let me show you first by using the while loop. So first thing, you will be having a number that should start with 1. Then you will be providing a while loop. The number should be less than or equals to 10. Then you can go ahead and you can print the number. That's it. So now if you go ahead and if you execute it, now, okay, now again, it is an infinite loop. So sorry, I have to give a increment or decrement over here, right? So I can say number plus plus, number plus plus. So when you say like this, it will come over here. Can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you can use your while loop also. Okay. You can use the while loop also. Now coming over here, how you can replace this while loop into the for loop. So for, first thing is initialization, right? So which you have did here. So this thing will comes inside the for loop along with the semicolon. Your initialization part, then your condition part, then your increment part, your increment or decrement part. That's it. Now,
So
how you can do?
initialization condition and the increment or decrement part.
Exactly. Okay. I'll just command this. Let me see this as now.
I think these are loop statement are same in all languages like in C, C++ and Java
Yes.
and all.
But in Python, you won't have this curly braces. Instead of curly braces, you will have colon.
Yeah.
So in the Java, you are using curly braces, right? So
Yeah.
in the Python, you will be using colon. And the rest, everything is okay. Now coming over here, yes, and also do while loop is not supported in the Python. Only while loop and for loop is supported. Now coming over
Okay.
here, if you see, let's have a statement like using for loop, and then let's say this as using while loop. Go ahead and execute 6. Now you can see. So using the while loop, you can see, and using the for loop, you can see, right? Using the for loop, you can see. Now this is like
Uh,
in, I
What
mean,
is difference in this? Because the everything is same. Just we have written in one combined sentence in for loop.
that's
So
it.
I think there is no difference in this while printing the. I mean, while we have the certain set of that we know that we need to print 1 to 10 or 10 to 20, whatever it is. So I think in that case we can use while also or for also. For is.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, if you know the, if you know the number of iterations, I want to print only 10 times, I want to print only 20 times, if you know the fixed number, then you can go ahead with the for loop. Suppose if you don't know, I don't know how many times I have to print the number, in
Hmm.
that case you have to go with the while loop. When you don't know, when you're not make sure, when you're not sure about the number of times that has to be repeated, then you have to go with the while loop. When
Okay.
you know the number of times to be repeated, then you can use the for loop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Now coming over here, if you see, now I want to execute this particular statement only, right? I want to execute this particular statement only. I want to see the output of this particular statement only. But when I execute it, when I executed, what is happening? I have to start from the scratch. We already talked about the do while, yeah, and then we talked about the while, but still we have to execute those things in order to check the output of our for loop, right? So you may feel that a certain portion of your code has to be executed, or we can say like this do while loop, you will be keep on executing whenever it is needed. So now again, if I want to go with the do while, I just simply can copy paste it to the another time. So which means like again it is coming as a repetition. Okay. So in those kind of a scenario, one first thing is for reusing. Another one is whenever it is required, that time you can call it. For that purpose, you can go ahead with the term called functions. Functions, which we also call it like methods. Okay, so you can reuse it. I mean, you can place the code in the functions, and whenever you want, you can make use of it. That is what the reuse and reuse, and you can call the function whenever is required. Now coming over here, let's say, okay, you are going to say over here, let's say, do while. Okay, this is the function. So if you come over here, however, the method will be created. So here the method is created. I'll put it at the top. You can see private static void. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this inside this one. Then again, we have a while, right? So I can go ahead and I can say while loop. I can say this as do while loop. I'll make this as do while loop. So while loop, again, you will be writing the structure. You can make this as public only as of now. So you have to say the visibility, okay, the access modifier, then static, then void. So void is the return data type. If you're returning the int, then it will be int. If you're returning the string value, it will be the string. If you're not returning anything, then it will be void. Okay, then you have to provide the function name, and yes. Now here I'm going to place these things. Yeah, here I'm going to place it. Okay, now yes, this scanner, I will put it in the
I think it was better if you have done in separate because now everything is gone for this.
Which one it's gone? Now I'm putting it in a function. So it will be easy for you. Okay. I'll tell you how it will be easy. Now I'm modifying, right? So it might be, I'll just show you how it looks. Just a
No, I
second.
mean for function, class, you need if you have created the
Oh,
separate one, na, so
all
then
right.
it
Okay.
was
If in that case, okay,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just create it. Hold on. Um,
And copy paste all those things there. Then you can modify, yeah, whatever you can modify.
Now I will take off this and then okay. Now I
Can
think it
you
will be
execute
fine.
this again?
Yeah.
This one. Let's see if
So
there is an issue.
you can see over here, enter the amount to be deposited, done with the while loop 17. So you're not eligible to cast a vote, and then using the while loop and using the for loop.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Now coming to the next functions demo. Okay. So which means like whenever you want, you can go ahead and execute it. Okay. So now coming over here, if you want the for loop, okay, so then you can say for loop. I will take off this particular one. Give the access modifier, then static, then the return type of your method, then your
While
method
loop,
name
for loop.
for loop. While loop is already done, right? So now you can take this. So now I'll just take off this particular. Okay, you can see the difference. That's it. Okay, so now coming over here, which loop you wanted. So for example, if you want only the for loop, you can call only the for loop method. So when you go ahead and execute it, you can see only the for loop. Okay, you can see only the for loop. Suppose if you want the while loop, not the for loop, then you can go ahead and you can see you're not eligible. Now again, if you re-execute it, it will have only the while loop statement it will have, not the other loops. Now coming over to the do while loop, again the do while loop, if you see, it will print only the do while loop statement. I'm saying 500, 20, 60, 700. You can see done. That's it.
Can you go above? Can we see the code again? The last one is for while, then this is for while loop, and the first one.
Do while loop.
Okay, so you copied all three, you did all three combined and you created one function. In that
Exactly.
function, you declared all these three, and you in the last you are calling that function particular.
Exactly. So when you want to
Can you go
reuse
above 1 second? Can you go in the where you have declared this function public class function demo? Oh, do
functions
while
demo,
loop and while loop. Okay.
and then you have
Met
the
you are declaring the method like for loop, while loop, then you are calling to that method in the last
exactly.
particular. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So with this, like your functions, like only a basic functions we
What
have.
you will call in the last, you are calling that method, or what you will call
So
that?
this we call it as function call, and this we call it as function definition. Okay, uh, this one. Okay, so these things. Okay, this we call it like a function definition. So function definition means where you are defining the function, where you are
Definition,
having
or we can say body or set of a
uh
statement.
yeah, body of your function or the statements inside your function block. Now these things we call it as function call. So function call is just calling the name of your function. That's it.
So I think this is good. So
Mm,
using the function. In the last, just call that function and declare all the function inside that body.
mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you one assignment based on these topic that we have discussed. Okay. The first one is you want to write a Java program. Okay. So write a Java program. Um, you can say like to reverse a number. Okay, to reverse a number, which means if I'm saying like let's say like output. Okay, if I give the number as okay, enter the number. If I say 27, then I want to get the output, or I can say like a reverse number of 27 is 72. Similarly, if I say the reverse number as 582, then I want the reverse number as 285, like this. Okay, you want to write a program to reverse the number.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you can use or you can, I mean, I want you to try this particular program in all the loops.
Formats. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
In all the loops, then after that, use of function also. Correct?
Functions, I'll give you another program. Okay,
Okay.
for
This is
functions,
for loop only. This is for loop.
yes, this is for loops. Okay,
Okay.
loops all the loops logic. Okay,
Yeah.
so which
Yeah.
means here itself you'll be having three programs.
Yeah.
One is for the do while, another one is for the while, another one is for the for.
Yeah.
Okay, for functions, I will give you the different. Okay, so coming to the next, we talked about the functions. So functions, the main motto of the function is for the reuse, which means like, see, coming over here, you can see the difference. This is so clumsy. And coming over to the functions, it was so neat. Organization, the code organization is perfect, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the reason we are going with the functions. Okay, the first thing is it organized the code.
Yeah.
Okay, it organized the code. Another one is reusability. So now coming over here again and again, I don't want to copy paste this code again and again. For example, if I want to say, again, I want to execute 10 numbers. Again, I don't want to copy paste. Again, I don't want to copy paste, which means like it is keep on increasing the number of lines in my program, right?
Yeah.
So when the number of lines are increased, obviously the memory will also be increased, right? The
Yeah.
memory also will be increased. So
Overloading will happen.
exactly. So to avoid those things, yes, we are having the functions. Okay. So code reusability, we can say code reusability. Okay. And then maintainability. Maintaining the code will be very, very easy. Maintainability. Okay. So maintaining the code will be easy. Okay. And coming over to the next, I have to say encapsulation. What is this encapsulation? So functions that helps in encapsulation logic. Encapsulation is one of the feature that we have in the OOPS concept, object-oriented programming. Okay, encapsulation. So if you see a capsule, okay, if you with which comes with a tube, right? If you see that particular capsule, the inside medicine will be covered with the outermost capsule, right? Which means what is inside, we won't get to know. That is the encapsulation. Encapsulation means it hide what is happening inside. It hide the internal workings of the task. Okay, it will hide the internal workings of the task. It will just expose. It will just expose the input and its corresponding output. That's it. Now
So
if I
we need to use private only in this private class, not public class, correct?
private is different. Okay, now here I'm just using inside the class only, right? So even though if you say my main class is here itself, right? My main class is here. So in that case, you can make use of a public, not a problem. But if I want to call this particular while loop outside, not a problem. Okay, so you can go ahead with the public because it is nowhere going to say, what is there inside the while loop. Just it is going to pass the value.
No,
Okay, this
I
is
mean
going to
for the encapsulation, I'm telling you was talking for encapsulation, na? In that encapsulation,
encapsulation means inside what is happening. The method inside the method what is happening.
so
The
here if
logic.
we are using public, we can also use private. Private is
Yeah,
also
you can also
okay.
use private, not a problem. You can also use private. So when you say private, this while loop can be used within this particular class.
Yeah, yeah.
I cannot use it other things. Now, for example, if I wanted to make use here, let me say do while loop. Okay, I want to use the do while loop over here. So this is coming from the functions demo class, right? So I can make use of here. Okay, do while. Okay, do while loop, I can make use of it by importing this function, importing this class over here. Okay, I can call it. But when you say private, I cannot make use of it.
Hmm.
This, when you say private, this is visible only within the class. But when you say public, it is visible all the classes. Okay, that is the difference. It will still work. It still work. You can see over here. It still works over here. Okay, it still works.
Yeah.
Okay, now coming over here. Okay, coming over to the next. So we will just go ahead and expand this functions still more. Okay, so coming over here, let's say now here we are hard coding the values, right? Here
Hmm.
we are hard coding the values. I don't want it like that. Okay, I don't want it. I want to get the input from the user and I want to pass that value to all the things.
Hmm.
So let me create, so that we call it like functions with arguments. Functions with arguments, which means you will be passing the value to the functions. So let's say like public static void, let's say like number execution. So here you can say like int number equals to 10, or let's say like 1. Okay, then you can say like for or you can do like this only. I'll just copy paste it. Just a second. I'll copy this. Okay, now if I come over here and if I say number execution, so what will happen? I will get 1 to 10, right? Now I don't want the number to start from 1. Okay, I want to get the start value and end value from the user.
Hmm.
Okay, I want to get the start value and the end value, which means like the upper limit and the lower limit, I want to get it from the user. Okay, let's see. So now we can say like int let's say like start value equal to let's say like int start value equal to, we can just print it out. Let's say like scanner dot next int. So for this you have to print, enter the starting value. Now again coming over here, you can say the ending value as well. Okay, now I want to call the method number execution. And can I say like this? So I just passing the start value and end value to the function number execution. Okay, number execution. Okay, can I send like this? Is it
Yeah,
possible?
yeah, it is possible because we are just calling the method number execution and we are passing the value
Yeah,
start
but
or end value
here it is throwing
argument.
an
We
error.
are passing the argument for this.
Okay, here it is throwing an error, right? You can see.
Can you click on this? What error it is throwing?
Hmm.
The method number execution in the type function is not applicable for the argument intent. Remove argument to match number execution. Change method number execution. Add parameters intent. Create method number execution intent. So there you need to pass argument also. In there you declared this public static void number execution. You need to pass intent, I think.
Hmm. Now, if I say over here, int start value, int end value,
I think
okay.
now there is no
But what has
error.
happened to this?
Yeah, because here you are passing argument, so you need to declare there also when you are
Hmm. But
declaring the
for
method.
this, I don't want to pass the parameter. I don't want to pass the parameter. For this without parameter and for this with parameter. So
But
which
here,
means
but here
same,
it is giving error, na? How you will
uh,
remove this?
so
Now it's gone.
in Java, but you have error over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Java, if you see, we have the concept of function overloading. Okay,
Okay.
function overloading, which means like same function with a different set of parameters. Function overloading, which means same function name, with different parameters. Either you can have a parameter or you don't want to have a parameter. Okay, or it's which we also call it like a method overloading, function overloading, method overloading.
Hmm.
Okay, so which
Hmm.
means like same function name, okay, same function name but with different parameters.
Hmm.
Okay, now coming over here, if you see, I can use the same, and coming over here I can say int start value, int end value. Now can you see
But
both the error got disappeared?
yeah.
Same function name, but here there is no parameter, but here we are passing the parameter.
So one method is with without parameter and one method parameterized and the second the first one is without parameter.
Yes. Now here I can say this as start value, and here I can say end value. Okay. Now if you go ahead and execute it, can you see this is for your first statement. Okay. Now here it is asking enter the starting value. I'm saying as 2.
Uh,
Ending value, I'm just saying 20. So it starts from 2 to 20. Okay. All right. So this is like function without parameter. This is function with parameter. Now let's have one more function. Okay. Is it correct again?
yeah, yeah.
Is it correct?
No, one function with parameter value one value.
Is it correct?
No,
If I change
I
the
think you need to function. This is function with parameter or function with some other thing.
function with parameter only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Function with parameter. Now coming over here, number execution, same function name. So here if you see, I'm passing the int data type, int data, which means like int comma int. Again also what I'm happening, int comma int, right?
But
So
value 1, value 2 you not declare, na? How you can pass this value 1, value 2?
so here, when you consider the parameter for the function overloading, it, it covers the data type, it not the name of your variable,
Hmm.
the type, okay? The type, okay, with a different parameter that refers to the type of your value, okay? The type of your value, the number of parameters. Even now, if you come over here, if I say, this, okay, if I remove the start value, it will work. It will work. Can you see? It works. Okay. And at the same time, if I go ahead and if I say this as start value, and here if I say it as a start value, and here if I say 10, it won't work because int, it is passing, right? But at the same time, if I say double, you won't get the, you won't get the error. You can just say simply double. Can you see? Same functioning, but different parameter. So parameter that also consider the data type.
Okay.
Okay. So now how you can say, you can just come over here. Simply you can say number execution 1. Basically, this is the start value. Then you can say number execution, and I will say the end value. End value, as I can see 10. Okay, should be the starting value, right? I'll say 5.0. Now if you execute it, starting value, I'm going to say 1, and 5 is the ending value. You can see 1 to 5, and the number of execution is 1. 1, it covers the end value, so it is print only 1, and 5.6 you can see. So for your confusion, what I do, I'll put the print statement over here. Okay, let me
I
see.
think it's a mixed. Can you
Ha, ha, ha.
first to without parameter and with parameter is fine, but after function with parameter, why we are
Mm.
doing like this int and
Which
value
means
and
you can have any number of parameters, just not a 2. The count of the parameter that can be anything with the same function name.
so end value means int end value we are passing only one value. Why we are not passing a
Exactly.
start value?
Because I hard coded it.
So it means here we are declaring we are passing only one value. That's it. We are
Yeah,
not
we are
passing more
hard
than
coding it.
one.
Yeah, we are passing only the end value.
We are hard
Mm.
coding that we are passing one value only in the third one.
Exactly. Yes. In the fourth
Okay.
one, we are hard coding the end value. We are assigning the start value.
So this is also same like without parameter in the
No, no,
fourth
no.
condition.
No, no, no. See here, the data type varies. The parameter count is 1. Okay, the parameter count is 1, but the data type is different. See, int and double.
Okay, let's suppose if we will give here instead of double, if we will give int, then
It will
why
throw
it's
an
not,
error.
no, why it is.
Same data type, right? See, parameter count is 1. For both the fire function, parameter count is 1. And the data type is also integer. So which comes like a function duplication. Okay, it comes as the function duplication. So when you come over here, okay, when you come over here, let's say,
Let's
uh,
suppose in the third one we are passing double instead of fourth one, it is possible.
this one, see, that is what
Double.
int and double we have, right?
No, no, I mean in the here can you pass in the third one double instead of int? Remove this int. Hmm?
Once again, that is what I
Double.
have given on the fourth one, right? Double.
In the fourth one int. Yeah.
Hmm.
And inside also you need to change, I think. Inside the loop,
Inside,
inside this loop,
it
int
is
number,
fine.
it is
Say,
fine.
okay, yeah, because here only we have given, right? We
No,
didn't
no,
assign.
no, no, no. Like for double number you are giving here, na? Uh, in the
It is fine.
32 line. Yeah, int.
Got it. You have to say
Here,
this.
there also double.
That is end value, right? Not a
In
problem.
the
If I say
24 line, after 4, instead of int double.
that is what, so end value is double, right? So not a problem. I can compare the int with the end value. So now you can see over here. Starting value, I'm saying 1 and the ending value is 5. So you can see 1 to 5 is printed. And then here, we are saying number of execution is 1. So it is a int. So it is coming with a start value over here, int. So it prints 1 to 10. Then I'm saying number of execution is 5.0. End value, it, though it is like a double, it is coming over here. And end value is 5.0. Though we started with the number 1, it comes with a 1 to 5.
Can you put here int number 1 instead double number 1 is equal to 1.0? Double number 1 is equal to 1.0. Now can you do?
Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got this. Now, one more thing, let me show you.
So it means in the third and fourth we are hard coding. The only
Third
thing
and
it
hard
is.
coding the one value alone. Suppose if you feel like you don't want to hard code it, okay? If you
Then
feel like,
second one is good, eh? If we don't want to hard code.
now you can do this also. See, now coming over here, this one, start value, you can make it as int, end value, you can make it as double. This kind of thing is also allowed because same parameter but different data type.
So I mean in real world or in use cases this exists like in if we give two type value into double like this one. It is
Yeah,
I
it
mean
comes.
it
See,
comes.
you can come over here with your online payment. Online payment, you'll have the credit card, debit card, digital wallets, right?
Hmm,
So the card payment I mean, card, you have debit card, credit card, but
hmm,
you can have only the card function, which can accept the credit card, right?
hmm,
So
hmm.
like those things, you can do it.
No,
Now,
we can do it, but you put it this three, four methods, all
mhm.
like this in the function with parameter, you are giving the second one int start value and double end value. This type scenario comes.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't.
it comes.
How
It
it will
comes.
come? Can you give
Okay.
some example?
Def,
Like
different.
you given for this credit card and debit card, na? That is
Mhm.
fine. That I can understand. But how into start value and double end value, I don't think mixed up a kind. Either I think double value, double end, double. We either we need to put int or either double, because see if any number we are writing, let's suppose our payment is 1.25 rupees, so we can directly give double. That's it. No need to give int. I think so. If I'm not wrong, I don't know. This is what
And
I think actually. Let's
see,
suppose payment is 25.20 rupee, in decimal 25.20. So we can give directly double. That's it. No need
okay.
to give int.
Now, let's say like credit card payment.
Hmm.
Your card number will be integer, but
Yeah,
the amount which is to be paid is double.
yeah.
Your, let's say like Amazon Pay, there is a wallet, right? So
Hmm.
wallet ID that comes with a string, but the amount to be paid is double.
Hmm.
So you can see the data type over here, right? You got it.
So,
So when you
but
say,
no, I understand. So in that case, we need to create the different method function, or in one function we can do everything like
mm, no,
ID, payment, the amount as well as the card number. Everything we can give in one function as a
no,
int.
see,
Int.
now when you say int card, double amount, string wallet ID, for credit card, there is no need of wallet ID. For mobile, I mean, let's say like for the wallet, a card number is invalid. Card amount, I mean, card number is not required. So how you can make use of it?
We cannot mix now. We need to
Hmm.
assign. We need to create separate. So I think this mixed up kind is not possible in. This is possible in theoretical only, but in real world we need to separately define, because see for amount we need to define separately whether it's
No,
valid or not, and
see,
for
coming.
card number we need to give int. That is fine.
Mm.
So
See how you can say is like, let's say like credit card payment. Okay, so when you say credit card payment, int card number and amount will be in the double. Okay, now if you're going to pay through the wallet payment, okay, your wallet ID will be in the string, so you will be having a wallet ID. Now coming over to the amount, that will be in the double only. You got it? And if you come with if you're going to pay with a cash payment, I don't want wallet ID or card number, I just want only the amount to be paid. I can simply say amount. That's it. See, parameter 1 2 number of parameter is 2, but the type of the parameter is different. It's a combination of int and double. It is a combination of string and double. Okay, now you got it. Okay. Yes, so this we call it like a method overloading. Function with parameters, function without parameter, and the function overloading.
But in the function with the parameters, you put it these. Okay, understand. Go in the third one. Function with.
So here I have int and double.
You mixed here. Okay. In the next one, this is hard
simple
coded.
Double, and this is int.
Okay, this is hard coded.
Okay, that's it. I'll give you the files. With this, let's wind up over here. So in the next class, we will talk about the arrays, so which is very important in the Java. So we will talk about that. Okay, I hope the functions are clear to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, explore it. Okay. Now coming,
this is function with overloading, na?
Yeah, function with parameters, and then function overloading. 3 concepts. Function we have seen, function with parameter passing the value to the function, and function overloading is same function name with a different set of parameters.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. All right. So with this note, let's wind up over here. So
please drop the files here.
I dropped it.
For assignment, we have one assignment.
We have one assignment for the loops. Okay, for functions, I will give you tomorrow. Okay. I mean, tomorrow means in the next session, I will give you. Okay. Yeah. Because you can use the arrays also. The combination of arrays, you can have it. Okay. So yes. Thank you so much.
Can you drop the files, please?
I have dropped it. You can check it out.
Okay, one second.
It's on the chat.